Las Vegas, Sandy Kastel and friends.
Hi, and good morning, and welcome to Sandy Kastel and Friends Variety Show with Chef Michael. You know, it just seems like we were here yesterday, Michael.
Oh yeah, with a bunch of mamalukes out there. What's going on?
Oh my gosh, last night we had such a fabulous night at Sienna's Italian Authentic Trattoria. We had the jazz and cocktails performance, and we had also, Michael, what are you reading there?
What's that? What? I'm looking at the horse races.
We also
I got my
had
bookie ready to
Aaron. We had Aaron Phillips and Ricky Cash with us, and they were interviewing our new guest and also a lot of the new people that were coming to the show last night. We had David DaCosta, we had Jimmy Molador with us, we had, of course, Chef Michael,
Yep.
Chad Michaels, and we had Joey on drums, Joey Vespi,
Great.
and we had Spider on bass.
Don't mention his last name. The IRS is looking for
I know. And today we have an author. Vito Carlucci.
Hey,
Did I say that right?
Very nice. You hear how she said my name?
Rogetown. Yes,
Wow,
yes.
that's
And I'm so
incredible.
excited. I've got two Italian. You are Italian, right?
First
With a name
generation
like that.
Italian American, yeah.
Which generation?
First generation.
First generation
Everybody's
here in
from
the
the other
country.
side, all from
Oh.
the same town,
Yeah.
and the whole bit. All
Across the water.
Oh. Across
That's
the
right.
water.
And Michael,
Yo.
good morning. What are you
Hey.
doing over there? What is he doing? Michael, this is being videotaped. You know, they're all watching you sit here on your iPhone and text. What are you texting?
I can read it if you
What's
want me to
that?
tell you.
Yeah, tell it.
It says,
You know, I want to get. Go ahead,
sorry,
Buzzer.
wait a minute.
Sorry.
Sorry, Mona. I didn't realize the pills were expired that I used last night. I don't know what that
That was
means.
Joey Vespi on the drums. I don't know what he's doing up.
Anyway, we had a fabulous night.
Yeah,
we
we
also had Rodney Anderson, Valerie, and Dennis Matthew, and they were there, and they were live streaming
Right.
our show to over 141 countries around the world. John Stiles was there videotaping.
Oh, yeah, Johnny
Ryan,
was
where
there.
were you?
Yeah.
We missed you.
Love you, John.
We're going to have to get you. Do you ever do sound engineering or just radio? Engineering? Ah, there you go.
That's
He's
the kind
gonna
of guy
learn.
we want. Buy him cheap. You know, I want to give a shout out. We had a guest, not a guest, but a fan, and he's the nicest guy. Him and his wife, two nice kids. Skinny Mohawk Jason David Andrea, Aranda. Am I saying that right, San? Andrea. He's a singer, drummer, bass guitar player, and he comes to Sienna's. This poor guy goes at 6 o'clock at night, but show don't start till 8. The guy with the hat.
Oh, yeah, right.
Not to get so he can get a seat, which was great, and we had such a great time. And then we had wonderful people. You know, what's our buddy's name? I had him on the show.
Who? Robert.
Robert
and Carolyn were there. We had
Carolyn.
the Grassos, of course.
The Grassos,
And
the
we had
billionaires,
Pascals.
my
We had
buddies.
Jolet, the greatest artist since
we love
Monet, and
you.
Salvador Dali was
He was
there.
the great- you know,
and Pirco was there
Pirco,
too.
his
Yeah,
wife.
I
You
know.
know,
And
she's
we had Joe
wonderful.
Toronto. I mean, we
Jody
had
Toronto.
a lot
We had,
of people.
and then after the show, I was sat and had lunch with Nikki the Wrench, Frankie Mozzarella, Muscles Marinara, and Joey Odlipa.
I thought I left the East Coast. I got even more nicknames out here.
We got, it's unbelievable. Anyway, we had a great time, and I got to tell you, I want to thank everybody that listens in all the time. Joey D'Amiglio, I don't know what happened to Joey. I went to pass by to see him, and a shout out to his lovely wife because she listens in every day. We're so excited to say that we're going to television, and the show's going to be shot. Yes, that's all my cousins, my Aunt Mariette, my Uncle Frank, and my Uncle Vito. They're all outside with provolone sandwiches. We don't let them in because they'll stink up the neighborhood. So anyway, we had a great time last night. It was good, and I didn't eat nothing, Sandy. You notice that? Because I get agita.
Agita.
Yeah, agita.
Well, that's why you have the Alka-Seltzer. But actually, what do the Italians have? They have like Bromo seltzer.
No, Brioschi.
Oh, Brioschi. It's something different. Yeah.
You know, when you're raised Italian, especially back east, I said this before, there's East Coast Italians and then you have the West Coast Italians. That's a whole different culture. You know what I mean? Because in California, outside of Marin County, there's not that many neighborhoods like we had. Did you ever go under the plug when you were a kid?
No.
Did you call it the Johnny Pump? Is that what you called it?
Johnny. Oh, you're talking about
the fire plug.
Fire
Well,
hydrant.
you were
no,
police.
we never did that. Truthfully, when we were.
There was no swimming pools back in Connecticut, New York, Philadelphia. I mean, we went under the plug, San. You know, and then the cops
under the plug.
Under the plug. My
before.
grandfather had a place at the funeral parlor, and we had the plug right in front of the place. And that's in the summertime. You know, we were kids. And what happened was, you know, the minute the cops left, my grandfather come out. He said, "Mikey, take a look. Is the coast clear?" And he got there. We had a wrench, and he would open up the fire plug, and all the kids in the neighborhood would go under the plug. And I was the one that had the biggest ugula, okay, that I would stick my butt against the hole of the fire plug, and my friend Benny Ciafre would hold my hands, so because you know the force of the fire plug, it'll blow you like into Jersey. And what happened is I would bend down, and he would hold my hands, and I'd push my left cheek, on the fire hole, the hole of the fire plug where the water's coming out, and it would be a spray over us. It was a wonderful time, unbelievable. And Frankie was always eating he always had pepperoni on him, and we nicknamed him Frankie Pepperoni because in Philly they gave you nicknames. You know what I mean? Your nickname. We had a kid they called him Scotto because he had a very curly. This girl just walked in on
That's
the,
right.
on the
She's
show.
got copies
How
from me here.
exciting.
That's right.
And what happened was that, you know, we called him Scotto because that Scotto, the head of lettuce, he had curly hair. So then we had a kid named Nicky Sticks. He was real skinny. So, hey, Nicky Sticks. And we knew. Then you had Frank Lemon. Okay, because they called him Lemons, because he always was eating lemons. So his cousins and his uncles and his nephews, it was Joey Lemon, Little Lemon, you know what I mean? Then he had Big Petey.
Juicy Lemon.
Juicy Lemon, yeah, Big Petey, yeah, Petey Motto, Little Petey, Big Petey, Small Petey, Medium-sized Petey. This is what you had nicknames, you know, and it's incredible. And
how about getting hit by Italian parents? And I mean, Italian parents, right, coming off the boat, I'm talking about.
Well, my grandmother came off the boat, and you ever see those big privolones that hang in some of these Italian restaurants? I mean, they're like 13 feet long, about 36 inches round. My grandmother used to carry that pepperoni, and the nuns in school would carry big privolones too, because they hit you with it. It smelled like provolone and sandwich. It smelled like a salami
My mother
sandwich.
would try all different ways. And I was a very defiant kid. She'd throw shoes at me, I duck, I laugh. She'd come over to me, sometimes she actually would hit me, hurt her hand, I laugh. I said, well, what are you hitting me for? Then my father comes home, a barber, 60 years, a barber, got the barber strap, the old-fashioned barber strap, okay? He goes and gets that, and he's still got the chain on it, it's got the little buckle too, and whips the barber strap, the thing that they do,
They couldn't get away with that today, you know.
Oh, I know.
No. The kids would be calling and they'd be getting, you know, the courts involved.
Yeah, and then you got CPS and MACCP.
Yeah, my mother would just be getting out now. Yeah, just about now.
Well, you know, they had a different outlook on things. You know, they ruled with a firm hand.
Well, my mother.
Firm hand.
Well, my mother hit me.
Reverberated.
Well, my grandmother would hit me. She would say, "Didn't I tell you not to do that again?" Now, my father.
And each time it'd be, "Didn't I tell you to that?"
Right. There was.
I hated those long sentences.
Remember them sentences?
You know, the long sentences were the worst.
And then my father, God rest his soul, he would spell it D-I-D, tell, T-E-L-L. And for the longest time, ladies and gentlemen, I got to tell you this, because I don't like to use God's name in vain. And this is the true story. I thought my name was Jesus Christ. I really did, until I was 5, because my father was like, get in the house. So when I went to school, they said, "What's your name?" I said, "Jesus Christ," because that's what I thought.
It's a popular for a dog's name, too.
Oh, my gosh.
That's funny.
You two are funny yourselves. I mean,
Why?
you know, but first of all, Chef Michael.
Yes, my
You know,
love.
you got Vito Carlucci here.
Vito Carlucci.
Now, he is an Italian. Okay, from the old school.
Let me see his feet.
Right?
He's got purple
First
feet, then he's
generation.
Italian.
Now, if you're going to ask anyone what their favorite Italian dish is, for you to give them the recipe,
I am.
You got to ask Vito.
Well, first of all,
Yeah.
Vito, we got the book over here, this wonderful book that he wrote. He was a police officer. Am I saying that correctly?
Right, back in Connecticut.
Right, and I always got I'm very favorite for police officers. Anyway,
I heard you owned quite a few.
No, my cousin called. You know, and I know you can appreciate this.
The family.
You know, I called my cousin Frankie, and he's from Connecticut. He's from Norwalk. I said, "Frankie, how's things?" He said, "Mike, it's so bad unemployment. The mob laid off 3 judges in Connecticut." So. I'm sorry. So here's the thing. Since I got an Italian here, and for some reason, John, and you know I love you because you're Americano. Americano means an American. What is your favorite? Now listen to me. You're Italian. I ain't talking spaghetti. I'm talking about the real, like your grandmother. That kind of. Tell me what your favorite dish or the dish you remember your grandmother making, and I will tell you the recipe of that.
Well, quite honestly, my favorite food. My wife cooks for dinners and everything herself. She's first-generation Italian-American. But even going back to my grandmother and my wife, my favorite is the nice homemade lasagna. I can't get away from that.
Really?
I love lasagna.
Do you like it with the meat in it, or
I don't like the sausage in it. I like the regular meat.
Morning Brighter. This is Sandy Kastel and Friends. Here again, your host, Sandy Kastel.
Hi, and welcome back to Sandy Kastel and Friends Variety Show with Chef Michael. I got to tell you, Michael, I don't know where you get the energy, and neither does anybody else in the audience. They sit there and watch you in amazement. Not only do you get up there and sing, but you get behind the drums and you go crazy.
Yeah, baby.
Crazy. As a matter of fact, he sang the second song. What was that song? Was that Tramp? Ladies of Tramp when you were singing last night? And all of a sudden, he started doing Tom Jones moves. And I said, wait, where is this coming from? And all the ladies looked at me and went, what is this? You didn't realize you did that?
Let me tell you something.
Grinding around and around and around.
I am 62 years old, and I'm proud to be 62.
Oh, we've got
I know.
T. Fox on the phone.
We're going to talk to him. Don't hang up, T. Fox and Flurry. Just a second.
Gosh, we got two of them on the phone.
Okay. And I'm going to tell you something. I have been blessed by God to give me a tremendous gift. For some people...
Energy.
Well, beside the energy, it's like when you've seen Louis Prima, when you've seen the Treniers, we were talking about that this morning.
Talent.
T. Fox.
Talent.
Okay. I want to tell you something. I'm very critical with entertainment. T. Fox, to me, is one of...
performer.
He's my kind of person when it comes to entertainment because he has the same energy I have. You know what I mean? Good-looking kid, nice kid, and a humble guy, and he's great.
You know who he reminds me of? He reminds me of a combination of like Ben Vereen, Sammy Davis Jr. Oh my gosh!
Right.
Because he and even believe it or not, Wayne Newton, because of his energy. When Wayne would do a show, it was a 2-hour show. When Ben Vereen, he was dancing all over the tables. You know, Sammy Davis Jr. I mean, that high energy.
Right.
That's it's amazing.
Now when
we used to see a lot of that, but we don't see a lot of that anymore.
When T. Fox performs, this kid. To me, I specialize in one style. I specialize in I'm a jazz singer, I'm a swing singer, and that's what I specialize. Like Italian cuisine. I cook once. I don't do bacon. I don't do Chinese. I'm the real deal when it comes to Italian cuisine. Okay. T. Fox can do everything. He does Motown. He does jazz. He does opera. He does Sammy. He does everything. The kid's great, and we're going to be in concert. We're going to have the 16-piece orchestra. We're going to be with the Dick Kastel Big Band. We're going to be doing it at Sienna's once a month, and it's going to be not just a sit-down dinner. And T. Fox, I'm going to have to pay this kid. I'm going to have to pay him what he wants. I want to give him a meatball sandwich. You know what I mean? Oh, no. He says, absolutely not. I got to be paid. But anyway, we got him on the phone right now. T, you out there, buddy?
Fox, how are you?
I want to say, first of all, Chef Mike and Sandy, you were absolutely right. Is one of the most spectacular, energetic, beautiful people like you guys are to do the wonderful things that you do. But you get on them drums, man, you knock them dead. And when you guys were talking about Italians, I just spent a 36-hour production putting this show together for tonight.
Wow.
You guys.
Well,
and today is a wonderful day, and let me tell you why. Because I literally have put together a vintage Las Vegas show with some of the greatest songs from Tony Bennett, Frank Sinatra, Sammy Davis, Nat King Cole.
Wow.
I'm talking about Folly dancers, and if everything's right, a little bit of magic.
The Follies dancers.
The Follies, are they going topless, them broads?
Hey.
I got the Las Vegas Folly dancers, the ones you guys had. It's going to be very interesting with Rich Rizzo. It's going to be fabulous.
Richie, I love that kid. I go back. He was at my birthday party.
I have the beautiful Christy Brooks that's going to be Holiday. I have the beautiful Monique who's going to be doing a Nat King Cole Unforgettable.
She's amazing, yes.
I mean, I have produced over 36 hours of footage. That's why I haven't been to see you guys, because I literally been sitting back by the Mac computer to create some of the greatest images of all times from the days of Bugsy Siegel. It opens up. I can't tell you too much, but it opens up with the history of the day and opening up the Flamingo Hotel with Bugsy Siegel.
Hey, listen, that was my first job, T. Fox. I worked at Flamingo Hotel, and I remember when they had that.
Well, you know, Oscar Goodman told me. He told me the whole story. I spent 2 hours with the mayor on Monday. He couldn't make it, him and Carolyn, so he said, "Hey, look, since I can't make it to you, why don't you bring your film crew up here and we'll shoot it?" So we went over there and we shot 2 hours of footage of Oscar Goodman and myself just going back
and the new mayor, his wife.
And well, Carolyn couldn't make it, but he was there and he was in behalf of his wife. And Carolyn said that she sent me a nice letter. I got a nice film coming in with Donnie and Marie from Atlantic City because I couldn't make it. So this is going to be a big deal, man. And the most important thing is if I can get Sandy Kastel and Chef Mike to come and just be there. If you can't do anything, I got you set up, Sandy, for whatever you want to do. We got to learn.
I'm going to be there.
I'm doing a 3-minute stand. I'm going to hear no BS. I'm going to knock those black people out the door. I'm going to do all racist jokes about Angela. You watch what I do. There'll be a riot when I get done.
That might be great because the audience is going to be pretty much Jewish and Italian.
Oh, all right.
Listen, we've also got the Grossos are coming.
Yeah, the billionaires. And
the Grossos are coming too.
The Grossos. I can't wait to bust his hump this
And
day.
I can't wait to get up on the stage, too.
Yeah, I'm going to have a lot of fun. But I'll do a little stand-up for you.
I'm going to give you guys one straight hour from 8 to 9 o'clock of T. Fox and the Fox City Show. And I'm going to give you the best vintage show you haven't seen since the good old days of the 70s.
Listen, do I got to pay for this? Is this a comp or what?
Are you ready for this?
You're there.
T-Fox kept it down for everybody to come see it. You only got to pay $5.
$5? Are you nuts? I can get myself a meatball sandwich at Sienna's.
Yeah, but you know that T-Fox. How many seats do you have there in that room? About 300?
Oh no, that place holds 780 something people.
780. That's right. It's got all the side sections and
stuff. If there's a riot, we're dead. How are we going to get out of there?
It's a beautiful room.
60-foot stage, 2 screens.
Yes, 60-foot stage.
Yeah,
it's a beautiful place. It's Fiesta.
Where are we sitting at? Do we got front row seats, or are you going to put me in the back of the bus? You're going to get even with us. How's it going to work? Where are we sitting at, T?
They have a special seat saved for you.
I have a special VIP 2 booths that hold over 20 people.
Oh my God!
I want all my favorite people on that side. Okay?
Well, you know it's funny. I talked to the mayor yesterday.
You got to bring me a cake, though, Chef. You got to make me a cake, man.
I will. I'll give you a cake.
John Carlos
with the cakes. But I talked to the mayor.
Do me a happy T5 day cake, man.
You got it. And I said to the mayor, and the mayor was telling me how much they love you. And then, Oscar looked at me and said, "I can't get you off, Mike." So anyway,
so T-Fox, listen, I got to just say, we're really looking forward to this. And tell us again where it's at. It's the Fiesta.
It's at the beautiful Fiesta Hotel on Rancho. It's called Club Tequila Room. It's a beautiful room. They just put the marquee out. Sherry Gordy just put the marquee out there, and it looks great. It's hosted by a couple of friends of mine, which you know, which is going to be
Brooks Thurman.
You know, Brooks. Yeah, no, Tal and Brooks.
Yeah, Tilmaj, yeah.
Yes.
I'm the only one that gets to call him his full name.
yeah, exactly. You're absolutely right. Well, they're co-hosting the show with me, so there's like a bunch of our great friends that's been over there with you guys. We're going to just turn this bad baby out, and it's going to be in a vintage Las Vegas show. Sammy, all of them are in my heart, in my spirit, in my soul. Frank Sinatra, Nat King Cole. I'm going to give it all I got and give it to you straight for 1 hour. So come and see the show. Okay?
We're looking forward to it.
We're coming down. We're going to come. We promise you, we're coming down. But I'm packing before I walk in.
And also, I want to say, Sherry Gordy. It's Barry Gordy's daughter, and Robert Gordy Jr. They're so nice. They're so sweet.
Robert's been he's a great guy.
Sherry goes back and forth between here and L.A. all the time. It's hard for her.
She can call in.
Yeah, I know she can call in.
We support the NAACP.
We're going to get stop. We're going to get Sherry on the show. We got to get her on the show.
I think it was the NAACP.
Yeah, I know, but he likes to say AA.
You said NAACP.
But Sherry is doing a wonderful T-Fox. Sherry's doing a wonderful thing over there. She's bringing Motown to Las Vegas in a huge way. Huge way. I mean, we've been out there to those shows, and she does it every Thursday night. over there every Thursday night.
I want to.
And wait.
Can't say a word.
I got to finish because also I think Rodney Anderson and Val TV, I think they're going to be there, and Dennis, aren't they going to be there filming tonight?
Yeah, they're filming a reality show. I'm going to be the first one pushing on the show. It's streamed live all over the world. This is going to be a great night.
There you go.
Not just Motown. It's a little bit of everything.
It is, yeah.
Tony Bennett, Frank Sinatra, Nat King Cole. You got Bobby Brooks coming in.
Well, then they definitely have to learn "Ladies of Tramp."
Oh,
so
yeah.
that
You got to cut this jive. You know what I mean? I got to tear up. I got to say something
if
real
you're
quick.
doing Tony Bennett and Frank Sinatra songs.
Right.
Cece. Man, don't sing. We're track.
Cece Spencer was there yesterday.
Oh, my gosh. She was on the show yesterday.
Cece, you know Cece
with
Spencer.
ambiance, you know.
Cece, yeah, my big sister C.
She's going to be there tonight, too.
And I got to tell you, she was great. She sat in with us with two girls. It was like the Pointer Sisters.
I know.
They were great. They had standing ovation.
Yvette and...
oh, man, I can't wait.
Sweetie. Sweetie, yes. Beautiful girls. And they sang last night. They were live streamed. You know, livestreamers.com. They did a wonderful thing for us last night.
Right.
You know, they did a little test, and it's pay-per-view. And what they do is we, of course, whatever is paid, it's $2.99 for the charge, I think, for the pay-per-view around the world. And a portion of those proceeds go to WEMAFoundation.org. That's my organization, Women and Men in Music
and to Chef Mike's
and Arts.
That and his meatballs, right?
Yeah.
That and his meatballs,
And you get a song called C'è la luna mezz'amata that goes along with it.
I'm sorry.
Now, T. Fox, you're also going to be at the WEMA meeting this Saturday, aren't you? The WEMA luncheon. You've got to come, you and Imani. Come on.
Well,
you guys have been gone too long.
Because you know I'm the other 9 to 5, right? I haven't been to bed yet. I'm getting ready to go lay my head down right now so I get ready for tonight's show.
Okay,
well have
listen,
a great time,
have a good
T.
day,
Fox.
and we'll see you tonight, okay?
That plug just cost you $450,
at the
kid.
Fiesta Hotel.
And bring me a great T-Fox cake, baby. I love you.
Yeah, all right.
Okay, great. Listen, if you're just tuning in now, you're listening to Sandy Kastel and Friends Variety Show with Chef Michael. And you know what? We've got Vito Carlucci here, and we're going to be talking to him about his book, Rogue Town.
Oh, yeah.
And all of his other 7 books. We'll be right back after a message from our sponsors.
How I'm longing to see.
There's no other radio show like it. This is Sandy Kastel and Friends. The phone lines are open at 702-731-1230. Now, here again, Sandy Kastel.
Hi, and welcome back to Sandy Kastel and Friends Variety Show. What is that? What is that? Do we have Flurry on the phone?
Oh, Flurry with the ink spots. If I didn't care. Woo. Go ahead.
You give them a bad name, Michael.
Hey, you guys got me fired up this morning talking about when you got the whippings from your mom. My cousin, now dig this. I'm in Detroit, right? You get on the Pennsylvania Turnpike, you going up to Philly, right? No big deal, right?
Right.
My cousin, Tony Capilli, pulled me out of the water there. No, I fell in the ocean. What is it there in Philadelphia?
The Schuylkill River.
Water. Huh?
The Schuylkill River.
No, really serious. Is that what it is?
No, in Philly? Well,
yeah.
You got to go to Atlantic City. I mean, you can go down to lakes. I mean,
No. He got pulled out of the river. He got pulled out of
the
river.
river. Oh, the River Jordan. That's where.
He doesn't know. In other words,
I have a clue. No rivers in my neighborhood. It was alleys. There was no rivers in my neighborhood. Right,
He was at 12th and Moore Street, hanging out by the pole.
Yeah, hanging on hangers.
Anyway, I'm in junior high school, right? And they tell us, okay, you can go typing, or you can go over here to cooking school. So I'm thinking, oh man, if I go to cooking school, I can get my lunch at lunchtime, and then you get a chance to eat what you cooked at cooking school, so I can get 2 lunches, right?
Yeah.
Right? Well, it was called home economics, and 2 things I remember. You're going to back me up on this, Michael. Oh, I can make the best raisin oatmeal cookies, and you never, ever cook with a ring on your finger.
Oh.
Some of these bozos on TV call themselves chefs. They got a ring on, mixing up the whatever it is.
No, you're right. You don't cook with no jewelry on. I never do. You know, it was when I went to school, I had handcuffs, so it was very difficult for me to... make the meatballs.
Yeah, Flurry. If you watch the show, and I know you did, shopping at Smith's with Michael,
Right.
and we went shopping at Smith's, and then we bought all the food. Then we went back to the house, and then he was cooking. And you're right, when he washed his hands, of course, and then he puts his hands in all that meat, to make the meatballs and using the bread. You can't have rings on when you're doing that.
Let me ask you a question real quick, Flurry. Where the hell have you been?
I know.
We were up at the club last night. The place is jumping.
I've been a little bit under the weather. Older guy now. So
Gee whiz, man.
What are you, 23?
No, I'm all right. I had a bunch of honeydews to do my wife.
Oh, your honey. Well, they say.
You gotta take care of that.
One quick anecdote about the mother's whipping.
Go ahead.
The last whipping I got, I can remember. My mother took one of my drumsticks. Now, the drumsticks at that time were wooden, but they came out with these drumsticks with the little plastic tip on it. Remember those?
Legal tips, they're called.
And man, she hit at me with one of those sticks.
Ow.
And it missed, and it stuck in the mahogany coffee table. She got scared because if that had been my skull, imagine that, huh?
I guess she stopped doing that.
That's right.
That was the last whipping I got. I got married a couple of years later.
Well, Flurry, we love you, buddy, and we hope to see you soon.
Yeah.
The last time I seen you was at my birthday party. That was
know.
July 4th.
I know.
So what you need to do,
I'm praying for you guys every day.
Thank
and I'm
you.
with you in spirit.
buddy.
And until we meet again, adios.
Thank you, Flurry. Have a wonderful day.
Any wonderful
You know,
day,
I got to say, I've been announcing Vito's name incorrectly.
That's right, and that's terrible,
because you know
Sandy.
why? Because John told me what his name was, and it stuck in my head. Carlucci, and it's really Colucci.
Not
Very
Carlucci.
good.
It's Colucci.
I mean, I didn't move to Las Vegas to get this kind of abuse.
Tell him that.
right on
Yeah,
the
you
book.
could have
It's right there.
gotten that in New York.
Not Jamaica,
or
de las
anywhere
Stasi
else.
Come on over here.
And from American, right? So listen, let's talk about Rogue Town. Tell me, you've already written all these other books. You know, it's not like you just started out. You're not a newbie at this. You know, you've been doing it for a while.
Well, this Rogue Town's my second book.
Okay.
Don't get confused with that guy.
Okay, well,
But
okay.
that was my co-author.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. But Rogue Town is all about my life on the police department.
Right.
Okay. Infiltrating two mob families, the Gambino and the Genovese families, to get my own bosses on the police department indicted. They were running the narcotics trade. They were running the drug trade. And I like that. That's good. And it was a crazy time. See, Stamford, Connecticut, people would think of Chicago and New York City as the Fortune 500 headquarters.
Right.
But there's Chicago, New York City, and Stamford, Connecticut. Stamford, Connecticut is a very rich county. It's in Fairfield County, Connecticut. Richest county in the entire country, okay, bar none. It encompasses Greenwich, Connecticut, where all the athletes
yes,
Ron
there's a lot of
Howard and
money
all the
there.
movie stars live there.
Wait, who is this guy?
Oh, that's me working undercover organized crime. Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Look at that photo. Oh, my gosh.
That's worth buying a book just for that shot there, right there, I tell you.
Serpico.
Who am I? Cheech or Chong in that picture? That's
Yeah,
what you got to
really.
figure out. But anyway, money contracts back where I come from.
Oh, yeah.
Xerox moving their headquarters there. All these major companies moving to Stamford, Connecticut. A lot of money there. So there was corruption. My bosses got involved in this whole thing. And then a young kid reporter by the name of Anthony Dolan comes into town, starts writing articles about it all. Wrote 75 to 80 articles, some of which about my undercover, other corruption, things like that. And he winds up winning the Pulitzer for writing. That's the Academy Award of Writing. He wins the Pulitzer for his stories. He gets a phone call actually from Ronald Reagan in 1980 to come work on his campaign, be my speechwriter. So he wound up working for Reagan for 8 years. Reagan then, because of Anthony Dolan and my story, did what was called the Initiative Against Organized Crime.
Oh.
And that was about 1984. That's the first time ever in the history of organized crime that the good guys, the feds, finally caught up and got ahead of organized crime a little bit. First time ever. And they've stayed ahead now over the years. So it's an exciting book. It talks about all the death threats. I had 5 kids at the time, all young, and all the crazy stuff, shootouts I was in, and only by the grace of God am I still here today. And if you like true crime, ladies and gentlemen, if you like true crime with a nice organized crime twist in there and a lot of interesting things like that, pick it up. It's called Rogue Town. You get it on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and I knew, Sandy, it was going to be a decent seller. I knew it when it first came out, but I didn't expect it to take off like it really did. Right. So much so that, we're halfway through Rogue Town 2 now. So very excited about it. So that's about it.
This could be a series then of novels.
Well, we've already got a call, and again, I'll believe it when I sign on the dotted line.
That's
Initially, they wanted to do a movie about it, but then when they called me the third time back, they said, no, we see this, there's so much going on in here, we see this more as a TV show. So again,
Wow.
I get excited when it goes through.
That's
now, let me ask you a question.
They sign on the dotted line.
Right.
And they give
sign
you
on the dotted
big
line.
check.
Now, no matter what you do, you're going to be part of that if it's a TV show.
Oh yeah, because
now I want to show you how people stereotype you. If I had a part in your book, what
in the movie,
in the movie,
or
you
the
would
TV
say
show.
what the part would I be? A priest, a judge? What do you think?
No, you got to be one of the organized crime guys that went up against.
You know what I mean? You know what I
But
mean,
you
ladies
got to
and
be
gentlemen?
serious. See, but your role would be a very serious role.
Right.
So yours would be saying to the other Goombas, we got to get this Colucci. No jokes in between. We got to
That's
get this. And the guy was walking down the street. No, you can't get into that.
Right.
Is that what it is? Let me ask you a question. You're Italian. You're a brilliant man. Do you know why we lost the war in Italy?
No, I'm sure you could tell me, Michael.
I'm serious.
Okay.
We only fought one day. You realize that? Because I'm serious. Sandy, you're laughing, but I'm damn serious. Because I'm serious. Because I asked my grandfather, and I said, Pop, why did we lose the war in Italy? We only fought one day because Mussolini, that son of a... Don't let me curse. Anyway, he went with Hitler. We fought one day. We surrendered. And I says, why? Are we cowards? He says, no. He says, I was there, my grandfather. I'm on the front lines. I'm shooting. We ran out of ammunition. And General Antonio Andolini said to the troops, bring up the shells. And these guys brought up a box of Renzoni.
Gotcha.
You got that one? Got it right?
That's good. I got to tell you then something quick. In my book, it talks about me working organized crime. But then what you have to do, the hardest part, is then you go back to FBI headquarters with the tapes. And I had a lady, she was about 70-something years old. I have to explain to her what all the words are on that. And everything on my tape back then, I mean, I'm Italian through and through. But sometimes Italians, I mean, oh boy. I mean, these guys. Whoops, sorry about that. I'm breaking the whole place down.
I'm a senior citizen. You hit me.
What's going on is I'm taping these guys, and they think because they're on their phone, and they're saying, "Hey, Mike, when are you coming over here? You told me you're going to bring the 3 boxes of Ziti's, huh? Oh, well, he only gave me 1 box to bring over. Well, I can't cook with 1 box. Now you hear this in every conversation. Now, a box of Ziti meant $1,000 back then. Okay, and over and over again. And the lady finally says to me, how come everybody's talking about pasta in all of your tapes? And I explained to her, I said, no, when a guy says, bring me the 3 boxes of ziti, that's $3,000. Well, why doesn't he say $3,000? I said, oh, no. I said, I'm enjoying my work wearing a wire, but not coming back to this lady. And one more quick story. When my cover was finally blown after several years, I go over my grandfather's house, who lived with his brother, my uncle, Titsy, we called him back then. Okay, now they're both in their 90s. I go over there, and they got the newspaper out. And the front page said, cops covers blown, thrust against organized crime, blah, blah, blah. So I didn't mean nothing by it. All I did was look at them and say, oh, you read that? And my grandfather looked at me. He said, so, you think of you some kind of a big shot now? I said, no, I didn't say that. I just saw the paper there. Oh, yeah, and the neighbors, they say, oh, yeah, your grandson, he's some kind of a bigger shot now, huh? I said, all right, bye. I walked out the door. I don't know how many times I left the house over things like that.
Did they, I wanted to ask you, being Italian.
He had the,
well, did they think that they
grapevines. Yeah. He had the tomatoes, the basanagol. I loved that smell as a kid.
Basanagol.
Basanagol. You said that good. She should learn how to do Colucci. Colucci, don't. But anyway, the Bosnian.
I did. Colucci.
And the tomatoes, fresh tomatoes in the brown paper bag.
Was it? I want to ask you a question because I remember as a kid.
So when they asked you to bring over the tomatoes, what were they meaning?
Can't get a word out. Bring over the sauce. No, what I wanted to ask you, and this is a serious question. When I was in Philadelphia,
got any serious music over there?
Yeah, a little
Da
Godfather.
dee da da dee da dee da da.
No, the thing is that my cousin Jimmy, he wanted Jackie. Yeah, we can let that run.
Try to do it in time.
He wanted
That's good
he wanted to be a police officer.
He did.
And my family, honestly and truthfully, said no. They felt that he says no, because all the guys on the corner, were booking numbers and stuff like that. Did you ever have that problem? I mean, being Italian, knowing the neighborhood guys, and now all your friends, the guys you went to school with, knew.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, I joined the police department as soon as I turned 21 years old. And within 2 years, I was working narcotics squad. So we're raiding different places. And we raid a house with my senior class president from high school. And not only him, but his girlfriend, who also graduated with me 3 years before that. And, the guy looked at me, Jackie, as we were going through the house, and he just says, "Hey, you got to do what you got to do." I said, "Yeah, I know, Jackie." I mean, 3 years out of high school, I'm raiding his house.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Well, if you go back to the old days, you go back to James Cagney. Back in the 20s, the Italians didn't have a Chinaman's chance in hell in America. We were the organ grinders and the street cleaners. If you look at all the old movies, you never seen an Italian cop in the old movies. You know that. It was always O'Malley, O'Keefe, O'Duff, O'Sullivan. It was the Irish that was
Even in
here.
1969 when I started,
right,
it was mostly all Irish. It was the ending point of it, as more Italians were getting into it back then.
Well, guys, I just got to say, we got to take a brief pause. We're going to be right back. Hold that thought. If you're just tuning in now, you're listening to Sandy Kastel and Friends Variety Show with Chef Michael.
Yeah.
And we've got Vito Colucci.
Let's have a prosciutto sandwich.
Colucci. But I so much like those R's rolling off my,
Come on, Colucci,
anyway,
we'll go to the
we'll be right
Siennas,
back
some
after a
prosciutto.
message from our sponsors.
Now, here again, your host, Sandy Kastel.
Hi, and welcome back to Sandy Kastel and Friends Variety Show with Chef Michael.
Oh, yeah.
While we were on break, John Stiles asked a really good question. John, you asked Vito, you said, why do you do this?
Well, the reason that got me started on this, working narcotics squad, we were hitting a lot of places. We knew that they were what we called heavy. That means they had enough drugs on Thursday night for the whole weekend. So we got search warrants. We had to go through our boss first to tell them we're going to hit so-and-so's house. We'd go there, nothing. It happened 4 or 5 times. We come up with nothing. Finally, we arrest a low-level drug dealer, and he says, "Hey, look, if you could go talk to the prosecutor for me, I'll give you a big scoop." I said, go tell me. And I said, your bosses are running everything in town. Your lieutenant, your sergeant are running the narcotics trade and the gambling trade. So my bosses got wind of this. They bumped us back to uniform. They took us off the squad. And I waited for a new chief to come in who knew about why I was bumped and said, "Vito, would you like to go undercover and get even?" And again, being 25, 26, whatever I was, you got this all bravery that you don't have when you as you get older. So I said, sure. And that's what started it all, Sandy.
I mean, there was a picture here right at the beginning of you really, 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 really young. Wait, is this it? Yeah, look at this. Look at that photo. Yeah, you got the mustache, you got all the hair, dark black hair.
That's the 70s, isn't it?
That's
yeah,
the
it looks
70s,
like the 70s.
yeah, 1970s.
So let me ask you one question. I know you want to talk
Sandy
about
was
your
only
radio.
she was about 8 years old.
I wasn't even
remember.
born yet.
That's even
Anyway,
born,
so I wanted to ask you, and I know you want to talk about your radio show too, but I want to ask you, what was the scariest situation you found yourself in?
Well, the scariest, I mean, the book also talks about a shootout that me and my partner were in, drug shootout, which wound up with one bad guy dead and one wounded, and that was pretty scary because, as it says in the books, over 30-something shots were fired, and again, thank God I walked away from it. But after my cover was blown, that was scariest part because, death threats, everything was front pages of New York Post, New York Daily News.
Everybody knew who you were.
Walking my dog at midnight with a gun in my pocket, holding onto the handle, watching every car. So that was very scary, but it had to do what you had to do, and it was over.
What about your family? Worrying about your family.
Yeah, I mean, the kids were all small, so they didn't really comprehend too much of what was going on. Oh, yeah.
You did.
Oh, I did, yeah.
So you must have worried about something
I worried about
happening
the
to
kids,
them.
sure. I
Yeah.
worried about my wife, the whole bit. You always have to worry because a lot of times they'll go through other means to get even
That's
with you
right.
if they can't
That's
get
right.
you. But
And
thank
you
God.
can't- otherwise, you got to go hide somewhere.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep. No, but thank God, one by one, everybody died, to be very honest with you. Everybody went to jail. And my bosses were indicted, one for murder, one for 4 murders. And that's how ruthless these guys were.
Sure.
Your lieutenant that you sit across the desk from that's running the squad that you're in is indicted for murder, for killing people. He could have set me up at any time as a Serpico type of a thing, send me to some building, and that would have been the end of
That's
it.
right, right.
So that's it.
So tell us about your radio show then.
I have a show on radio called Crime Time with Vito Colucci, PI. It's on the Biz Talk Radio Network.
Oh, good.
And last time I checked, we have over 1,000 affiliates, so I'm excited about that.
Now, when you have an affiliate, that means that anybody that goes to their site, then afterwards you get a little taste of that, right? You get a little.
Well, we
piece of
have
that.
it. Everybody has it worked out differently.
A different way, right?
on the show, which
Right.
I'm not allowed to really go
Sure.
into that part. But they've been very good to me. I've had the show 4 years this month, and it's been exciting. I've had everybody on from Henry Hill to all the people I do Fox and CNN with, and because everybody's got a book.
But you
to
haven't
plug.
had Chef Michael on yet.
He's going to be next because he can talk about old time Vegas and
That's
the crime
right.
and everything else.
Why are you
That's
looking at me
right.
say the crime? What
Yeah.
the hell on? I made my
No,
own
no, no, no.
meatballs.
What you witnessed that one day when you turned around.
But Vito, he can't reveal any of it.
There's only one mob guy left in Las Vegas, and he's a billionaire. And you know who I'm talking about.
Well, listen, if you were talking to a young author or anybody who's an aspiring author out there, what would be the #1 tip that you would give them?
Well, the book I had before this, Inside the Private Eyes of a PI, you get it? Inside the Private Eyes of a PI. I self-published that one. I'm a published author now at Roguetown. And I would say follow your dream. Because so many people say, you meet them in the supermarket, they'll say, oh, Vito, I could write a book.
Yeah.
How many times you hear that, especially as an Italian? Everybody,
all the time.
oh, Vito, I fell down the other day. I almost broke my arm. I could write a book. I go, well, what happens after that page?
Yeah, right.
I mean, where are we going after you broke your arm? I mean, and so I tell them, do it. Don't look back at 80 years old and said, I want to write this book about my upbringing, the abuse I went through, the this, the that. And, just do it.
Just do
because
it.
You'll be glad
Vito,
you do it.
I wrote a cookbook.
You did?
20 years ago. And I dedicated, it's called Don't Dirty the Stove. And I dedicated the cookbook to my family, my uncle, my Aunt Mariette, and I talked about her and her polenta recipe. And Sandy and I are in the process right now of doing a new cookbook called Don't Dirty the Kitchen.
And it's because I've been living with him and I know. Don't dirty the kitchen. Listen, if you're just tuning in now, it's Sandy Kastel and Friends Variety Show with Chef Michael here on KLAV, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. And we had with us Vito Colucci Jr. and his book, wonderful book, Roguetown. You got to get it. You got to read it. I'm going to be reading it tonight. And I'm so excited because, you and Chef Michael have so many things in common.
Yeah, we're Italian.
I like him already.
Yeah.
So listen, we'll see you. What is today? Today's Thursday. We'll see you tomorrow. And I'm going to be seeing Lisa Grosso and Diana and Dr. Perry. We're going to go over to the Wynn Show.
Good, and I'm going to get on my Harley Davidson and I'm going to take the hell out of here. I'm going somewhere.
Have a great day.